Hu Feng simply sat silently, drinking tea, listening to the other two praise Tianchen. As expected, Zhou Tianchen is more capable than anyone else. Only he could force the Zhao family into such a corner. Baldi Chang reported, "Young master, they're here." Zhao Yuliang gave the order for him to handle it. The others cheered, "Oh my god, the Zhao family is really handing people over, they deserve it, the Zhao family's crimes in Longhua are too many. I think the Zhao family is finished, losing so many people, let's see how long they can be smug, serves them right, they brought it upon themselves." All these words Zhao Yuliang heard, but he said nothing. Tianchen turned to ask Zhang Jinyu, "These people are from the Red Jacket Gang, right? You can confirm that, right?" Zhang Jinyu frowned, "No need, these are all core members of the Red Jacket Gang. Even if they turn to ash, I would still recognize them." Tianchen nodded, "Then that's fine, thank you." Zhao Yuliang waved his hand, "I'm glad you're satisfied. Today, we weren't able to host you properly, and you had to suffer. Next time, we'll come to your house to visit and see you off." But Tianchen still hadn't left, he lit a cigarette. "What's the rush?" Zhao Yuliang remained silent, watching to see what else the boy had in store. Tianchen stepped forward, "The Red Jacket Gang is just a dog for the Zhao family. Are you going to let the dog bite someone and then go take the responsibility of teaching it a lesson on my behalf?" Zhao Yuliang's face darkened, "Hey Shou, don't get too carried away." Tianchen slammed his hand on the table, grinding his teeth, "Today, I want you to get carried away. I want you to handle it yourself and apologize to the Blue Mountain Gang in front of everyone." "What, are you too scared to get your hands dirty?" Zhao Yuliang emphasized again, "Hey Shou, this is Zhao family's territory." Tianchen pulled out a pack of cigarettes from his jacket pocket, "Same old rule, after you finish the cigarette, I expect a satisfactory answer from you, young master." "Time starts now." Zhao Yuliang fell silent, lost in thought. Other subordinates yelled out, "Young master, this kid is too arrogant, we can't tolerate this any longer, take care of him, yes, show them the power of the Zhao family." Zhao Yuliang seemed to be calculating a different plan, "The key target today is Hu Feng, I can't let this He Shou get in the way." He raised his hand, ready to strike, killing the members of the Red Jacket Gang in an instant. Everyone was extremely shocked. Wu Yi was startled, "Boss, Zhao Yuliang has broken through again." Tianchen observed, second level speed, probably has some other special abilities. Zhao Yuliang wiped his hands with a tissue, "I heard that boss who has also collected quite a few remnants of the Red Jacket Gang. Aren't you going to show any attitude about this?" Unexpectedly, he was taking a jab at Hu Feng. Tianchen stayed silent. Hu Feng glanced at him. Wu Yi quickly said, "Boss, among the people we've recruited, many are about to break through. If we hand them over, the losses will be huge." Zhao Yuliang is playing the trick of retreating to advance, truly sinister. Zhang Jinyu shook his head, signaling to let Hu Feng be. Tianchen took out an intact cigarette, "I prepared this cigarette for Boss Hu first, I'll smoke another one later." Hu Feng awkwardly replied, "Who would have someone like you go out of your way to visit? The crimes committed by the Red Jacket Gang, Maple Nest will never cover up. Wu Yi, Qin, send someone to bring those guys here and hand them over to He Shou for handling." Wu Yi and Qin immediately followed the order. Hu Feng asked, "Is that satisfactory, little brother?" Tianchen smiled, "Well then, I won't waste everyone's time any longer. Zhang Jinyu, go over there, hand things over to them, then lead the people back to Blue Mountain Gang." Zhao Yuliang stood up, "You guys entertain the guests properly. Hey Shou, we still have a few things to do, I'll take my leave first." Tianchen stopped him, "Wait, what's going on?" At this moment, Zhao Yuliang's face turned completely dark, "What do you actually want?" Tianchen pointed to a man with rat-like teeth, "Just now, one of your subordinates glared at me." The man was startled, "Young master, I." Zhao Yuliang didn't say a word. He turned around and slapped his subordinate with all his strength, his eyes bloodshot, "Is that enough for you?" The man hugged his face in pain, "Young master." Tianchen was startled, "Who told you to hit him? The apocalypse has just begun, and you've already lost your sense of morality?" Zhao Yuliang frowned, feeling tricked, his anger rising.
Tianchen explained, "Did I tell you to hit him? You acted on your own."
I'm very fair, whoever hits someone, their hand should be chopped off and given to the person they harmed.
Zhao Yuliang frowned.
The two stood facing each other, the tension in the air was palpable. He realized, so, you came here to provoke me.
Tianchen finally got to the point, "Now you understand?"
Hu Feng laughed loudly, "Haha, gentlemen, I still have things to do, so I'll take my leave now." Then he nodded and signaled to a man in a red hat behind him. The people around him murmured.
"Hu Feng is gone, let's go, aren't you staying to watch?"
"What's there to watch?
Do you want to die?"
Let's disperse, we're outsiders here." The guy who was slapped earlier frowned, "Damn it, those fair-weather friends, now they're all backing down."
Tianchen taunted, "What are you waiting for? Aren't you going to fight?"
Suddenly, one man stared at Tianchen and said, "Young master, the thing is, he doesn't seem to be Heishou.
I've seen him at the service station."
Pai Li and the second young master were both killed by him.
"He is Zhou Tianchen." Zhao Yuliang's eyes widened, "Zhou Tianchen, huh, Zhou Tianchen, I'll catch you without breaking a sweat." The others, who were about to flee, turned around. "Zhou Tianchen, that's Zhou Tianchen, the one who killed the second young master of the Zhao family, the one who holds the secret of high-speed evolution?"
Zhao Yuliang made an offer, "Whoever helps me capture Zhou Tianchen will get a share of the high-speed evolution method."
Zhou Tianchen taunted, "Do you think you can escape? Go ahead and try." Upon hearing this, the others were immediately filled with fighting spirit. "It's Zhou Tianchen, Heishou is Zhou Tianchen, what are we waiting for? If we catch him, we'll have the evolution method. Where are the brothers? Let's go."
Zhao Yuliang confidently said, "It seems there's no need for me to take action, today you won't be able to escape."
Tianchen, however, showed no fear and ordered, "Gao Fei, move."
The person on the other side acknowledged. Before Zhao Yuliang could understand what was happening, one of his men was knocked down.
Zhao Yuliang widened his eyes, "A sniper."
The others began to panic. He observed, "There's still more." Teacher Luo and Luo Brat stepped forward, saying, "Anyone who takes another step, kill them." Her gaze was full of intense anger. The others were now even more terrified, whispering, "So strong, I didn't expect Zhou Tianchen to have such a powerful ally, damn it, we bit off more than we could chew."
The red-haired man conceded, "It's a misunderstanding, a misunderstanding."
The man beside him patted his head, saying, "We'll leave now. We didn't intend to get involved."
This girl exudes such a terrifying killing intent. What are you still doing standing here? The beauty is angry, hurry up and leave. The others also heard the command and quickly said, "Yes, excuse us. Let's get out of here, quickly." Tianchen spoke again, "Stop right there." The red-haired man frowned, "Brother Chen, we have no grudges, can you let us go this time?" Tianchen ordered them to sit down.
Before they could understand what was happening, a tall and burly man stepped forward aggressively, "Damn it, you think you're some big shot? All of us, let's go and show him who's boss." Teacher Luo quickly darted past the tall man with her sharp claws, "Zhou Tianchen told you to sit down." The red-haired group was horrified. They obediently sat down like puppies.
Tianchen smiled with satisfaction, "Just sit there and watch.
After I deal with Zhao Yuliang, I'll have something for you to do." Zhao Yuliang sighed, "Deal with me." He took out several red meteorite crystals.
Tianchen was surprised, "Meteorite crystals?"
Zhao Yuliang called out to his subordinates, "Come here, no more time to hesitate, I'll make up for your losses later."
The subordinates obeyed, "Yes."
Then, they all ate the meteorite crystals, placing their hands on Zhao Yuliang's back. The three of them seemed to be transferring power to Zhao Yuliang. Red streaks appeared on their faces, looking terrifying. A new source of power seemed to emerge around Zhao Yuliang. They ate the meteorite crystals first and then transferred the energy to another person to enhance their strength.
It was unexpected that all three of them had this ability.
But doing so would cause them to deteriorate into ordinary people, and it would be difficult for them to break through again in the short term. Yet, they used 3 meteorite crystals, such a waste. Zhao Yuliang shouted loudly. He grabbed the sharp stick beside him and said, "Go call my father. This situation won't last long. Today, either the Zhao family or Zhuo Tianchen will die." It seemed as though the stick contained electricity. He grabbed the electric rod and charged forward. "Zhuo Tianchen, I will make you pay dearly." Tianchen used his evolved arm, channeling all his energy into it, then blocked Zhao Yuliang's strike. Right from the start, he used his special energy, decisive indeed. Zhao Yuliang leaned back, using his remaining leg to kick Tianchen's arm. Tianchen was immediately knocked back, his arm seemed injured, and the ability to control the destructive power of electricity was no small feat. Zhao Yuliang aggressively advanced. "Stop looking, your enhanced arm can't withstand my electricity." Tianchen smiled. "Humph, well, that's fine. I've grown tired of pretending to be an amateur. You still have a long way to go." Upon hearing this, Zhao Yuliang hesitated for a moment. Tianchen then created another arm. "Don't disappoint me too much." Zhao Yuliang rushed forward, relentlessly throwing punches and kicks at Tianchen. Tianchen quickly retreated, swiftly dodging his attacks. Tianchen quickly dodged his strike. Seizing the opportunity, Tianchen lifted a knee and delivered a powerful kick straight into Zhao Yuliang's stomach. Zhao Yuliang didn't expect that he could still land safely on his feet. He gasped for air, seemingly exhausted. "I didn't expect this kid to be so resilient. I have to finish this quickly. If this continues, I won't make it before my father arrives." He popped another meteorite crystal into his mouth. Tianchen was surprised to see him eating a meteorite crystal. If you swallow a meteorite crystal, most of the energy goes into healing injuries, at best boosting the explosive power a little. Moreover, consuming a large amount of meteorite crystal in a short time would overwhelm someone of the second evolution level. After swallowing the meteorite crystal, a strange smoke emanated from Zhao Yuliang's chest hair, spreading throughout his body. It seemed he had regained some strength. "Zhuo Tianchen, I told you, today you will pay the price 100-fold. Die." He leaped high into the air, holding his stun rod ready, his eyes flashing. With a swift motion, he struck powerfully towards Tianchen. Tianchen widened his eyes as the electric rod came down with great force. Luckily, Tianchen reacted quickly, jumping aside to avoid the blow. Otherwise, it would have been nearly impossible to counter. Zhao Yuliang missed his strike once again. He was furious and cursed. "If you're so brave, then don't avoid me." The red-haired man and the others breathed a sigh of relief. Lucky we didn't get involved. Offending Zhuo Tianchen means only one thing: death. What does Zhuo Tianchen want to do? Finish off Zhao Yuliang and then throw us into the boiling pot too? Who knows? Lin Wei drove the truck over, and the group was stunned. Lin Wei smiled. "Okay, where are we at?" "Not bad, huh? A lot of people here." Luo Brat pointed at Teacher Luo. "No problem, we have Teacher Luo." Gao Fei spoke loudly. "And there's also you." He glanced behind. "There's not much time left. Ladies, hurry up for me." Luo Brat shouted. "Got it." Lin Wei pointed at their group. "Sha Chen, Linan Tian, and you, come here. Sha Chen, you take some people with axes to block the way. Linan Tian, lead your men to plant explosives. The rest of you come with me to set up traps." Sha Chen retorted, "Damn it, why should I listen to you? Do you think of us as prisoners?" Lin Wei moved her face closer to his. "You're right. Today, the 4 of us will be hurting you. In the future, if you're not satisfied, feel free to leave. But of course, you'll need permission from the beautiful one over there first." Then she pointed at her. Sha Chen was afraid of losing face, so he had to swallow his anger. He chuckled. "The beautiful lady has already spoken. What are you still standing there for? Get up and get to work." Luo Brat sighed. "Luckily, it's because of Teacher Luo that these guys listen so obediently. Now, we just have to wait for Zhuo Tianchen."
At this moment, Teacher Luo had a gentle expression, no longer carrying the intimidating aura he had before.
Zhao Yuliang struck again, but Tianchen dodged. Zhao Yuliang followed up with another strike, and Tianchen blocked it with his arm.
He was frustrated. Why aren't you fighting back? Tianchen raised his other arm, and a loud explosion echoed.
Zhao Yuliang leaped away, and Tianchen also took a step back. It seemed like their strengths were evenly matched. Zhao Yuliang, in his arrogance, said, "Let's see how long you can hold on." Gao Fei reported, "Tianchen, it's me, there's a situation over here."
Tianchen asked, "Are you here?"
Gao Fei, observing from above, said, "Boss, I think you should end this quickly."
Tianchen nodded, "All right, you keep observing."
Zhao Yuliang, enraged, said, "Dare to ignore me, huh?
Then taste this move."
He then swiped a line across the ground.
Tianchen jumped up to dodge the attack.
Before long, he was standing right in front of Zhao Yuliang. He grabbed Zhao Yuliang by the arm. "It seems you still haven't realized that your body is on the brink of collapse, it could mutate at any moment." Zhao Yuliang's gaze seemed to gradually become numb. Tianchen sneered, "If you had gone all in from the start, you might have had a chance. But with the way the mutation is happening, your energy can no longer focus.
Now, it means nothing to me." With that, he snapped Zhao Yuliang's electric rod in half and knocked him away. Zhao Yuliang lay still, unmoving.
He slammed his hands forcefully on the ground, trembling and staggering to his feet. How is this possible?
How could he be this strong?
A subordinate entered, "Young master."
Zhao Yuliang opened his eyes wide. "You've arrived, good.
Where's my father?"
The subordinate reported, "The boss has left." Zhao Yuliang didn't understand his meaning. Left? What do you mean by left? The subordinate panicked. The boss took everyone out of the mining area.
Zhao Yuliang couldn't believe his father would be so ruthless.
This was definitely not part of his plan.
He had been completely abandoned. On the other side, his subordinate was urging his father, "Boss, if we don't leave right now, young master won't be able to hold on much longer."
He punched the wall hard, his heart filled with doubt. Is Zhuo Tianchen really that strong?
The subordinate firmly assured him, "His strength is no less than Hu Feng's."
The wild-haired man said fiercely, "Let me go. I've been wanting to fight him for a long time."
But Zhao Yuliang's father gave the order, "Pack up your things, take all our elite soldiers, and leave immediately."
The wild-haired man was stunned. "Oh my God, are you abandoning your own son?" The heartless man showed no remorse for his words. He was cruel beyond measure. He couldn't even take revenge for his younger brother. "I don't have such a useless son. Leave now, as long as we get out of here, we still have a chance." Before leaving, he held a box tightly in his hand. On Zhao Yuliang's side, his subordinate reported the situation. Father has disappeared. Bruce has also been taken away. There are hardly any of our people left in this mining area. Young master, we've been abandoned by the boss. Young master.
Seeing Zhao Yuliang emerge from the wreckage, Tianchen raised his guard, then suddenly broke into a devilish smile. Ha 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 ha.
He then laughed like a madman. Ha ha. The subordinate didn't understand what was happening. "You, young master."
Zhao Yuliang raised his hand and grabbed tightly onto his collar. "Tell me, whose eldest son am I? I risked my life for him, expanded the mining area for him." Seeing Zhao Yuliang's face, he trembled in fear. Young master, young master." Zhao Yuliang's eyes turned bloodshot, and tears began to flow. "I even avenged his precious son, and yet he treated me like this? Just because I'm a bastard, he treats me like this?" He had truly lost his mind.
It turned out he was not his father's biological son. The man was terrified and stepped back.
At this point, Zhao Yuliang seemed to have completely lost control. His face was full of hatred. He clenched his teeth, then moved toward Tianchen. "It's all your fault, it's all your fault." He pulled something from his pocket, pulling out a pile of meteorite crystals.
Tianchen was surprised. "There are still meteorite crystals?"
He poured all the remaining meteorite crystals into his mouth, and a current began to emanate from his body.
At this moment, he was blinded by rage. Zhua Tianchen, I will take your life.
The electric current gradually grew stronger, surrounding Zhao Yuliang's entire body, and the red in his eyes deepened. He suddenly collapsed, as if unable to bear the overwhelming force. His mouth began to gag, and his body hunched forward.
Tianchen sensed something was wrong, and he screamed in pain.
His hands gripped the ground tightly, the pain spreading throughout his body. He had used too much meteorite crystal, and gradually, things slipped out of control.
Blood poured from his eyes, looking grotesque.
Tianchen watched as he slowly succumbed, another fallen soul, and born from meteorite crystal. After a moment of excruciating pain, Zhao Yuliang fell silent, no longer screaming. He knelt on the ground, electricity still crackling through his hands.
His gaze grew more defiant.
At that moment, he resembled a madman, moving swiftly behind Tianchen. He slammed his hands down onto the ground, causing stones around him to shatter.
Tianchen gritted his teeth, feeling the immense power.
Zhao Yuliang's eyes were fixed intensely on Tianchen, and he grabbed something from a large rock. To Tianchen's surprise, Zhao Yuliang managed to lift the massive stone and threw it towards him. Tianchen was ready to use his arm to smash the rock, but with a loud boom, Zhao Yuliang appeared right in front of him, delivering a devastating blow to Tianchen's stomach.
Tianchen was immediately knocked backward, but he quickly regained his balance, standing firm on the broken rocks.
Zhao Yuliang had not given up yet. He sprang up, and at the same time, his spirit surged to attack. The two of them, with their invincible strength, faced each other. When their hands met, a golden energy appeared, and with it, a tremendous force erupted with a loud bang.
Zhao Yuliang was sent flying into the wall.
Tianchen tried to stay grounded. His arms seemed to be smoking as he struggled to keep from being thrown away. A depraved person is indeed hard to deal with.
Zhao Yuliang was still alive, his electric energy radiating more powerfully.
He detached his hand from the broken wall and stepped forward, his entire body charged. His eyes were no longer blank.
Tianchen thought, it seems this time, I can't rely on any tricks anymore.
At this moment, Gao Fei reminded Tianchen, stop fighting, there's a change in the east.
Tianchen asked, so fast? Where are they now?
Gao Fei observed, 2 minutes, at most 2 minutes, they'll be here. Tianchen urged, you all hold on for a bit, I'll finish this quickly.
Gao Fei's face darkened as he looked at the scene before him. What? How can we hold on? These are a horde of zombies.
They were surrounded by a swarm of zombies. Tianchen, stop fighting, deal with the zombies first. But Tianchen replied, no, if this guy doesn't die, it'll be more troublesome than the zombies. Gao Fei rebutted, but Lin Wei spoke up, no more buts, calm down, the defense line has been set up, we are ready for battle at any moment, remember to cover us.
Everyone, the mining area is under attack by a wave of zombies.
This zombie flood is much fiercer than the one 2 days ago. The outer defense line definitely won't hold, and even if we run now, we won't escape.
If you want to survive, let's fight together. If there are no more questions, then follow my orders.
She raised her gun to the sky and fired a warning shot, prepare. The sound of gunfire rang out, followed immediately by the loud rumble as a sea of zombies rushed to attack them. Dust and smoke filled the air, the situation was extremely tense, and both sides charged into battle, kill.
Lin Wei looked at the scene before her, phew, that was close, luckily he's here. 3 hours ago, they were discussing in a room, and after hearing Tianchen explain the situation, everyone was very surprised. What? A zombie flood?
Tianchen put on his coat and said, I just sensed it, there's no time to explain now. We can't avoid this zombie flood, we have to smash the first wave of attacks if we want any chance of survival. Zhang Jinyu, follow me, Teacher Luo and Luo Brat will lie in ambush among the crowd, Gao Fei will take the roof and act as a sniper.
We'll discuss the specific plan as we go.
Then, he turned to look at Lin Wei, you have experience dealing with the zombie horde, you know what to do. Later, bring supplies to the club to help.
Lin Wei agreed without any resistance, all right.
She looked behind her, where Tianchen and Zhao Yuliang were still fighting. Has he been thinking everything through from the start? The two were evenly matched. Zhao Yuliang had missed a punch at Tianchen.
Tianchen seized the opportunity and used his series of punches. He put all his strength into his arm and landed a powerful blow, sending Zhao Yuliang crashing to the ground. Tianchen, now exhausted, said, "Phew, you can take a beating." Huff, huff. Zhao Yuliang's body had sunk into the ground, leaving a deep hole. Suddenly, his electric hand emerged, gripping the ground, then shot up quickly and safely landed. His electrified gaze swept over to the battle between Lin Wei's group and the zombies, and in the blink of an eye, he dashed forward, leaving Tianchen stunned. Tianchen realized, that bastard, he wants to enter the zombie horde. He used all his speed, with a scheme already brewing in his mind. Tianchen reminded, "Gao Fei, Teacher Luo, watch out on my side." Teacher Luo and Gao Fei turned around, and Tianchen shouted loudly, "Clear the way for me, don't give the abomination a chance to escape." Teacher Luo used his sharp arm to block Zhao Yuliang's path, but unexpectedly, the strike missed him. Teacher Luo looked on, his face filled with astonishment at the speed of the abomination. Tianchen rushed past, "Don't underestimate it, this thing has intelligence." He jumped over the fence, and by that time, Zhao Yuliang had already dashed into the midst of the zombies. A swarm of zombies stood in their way, blocking them. Tianchen shouted, Gao Fei, aim the gun here." The scope aimed at the center of Zhao Yuliang's forehead, and although the shot hit the mark, it did nothing to him. Gao Fei reported, "It's too tough, the bullets can't do anything to it." Tianchen ordered, "Just hold it down." He plunged into the sea of zombies, effortlessly taking down one after another, damn it. Then, he leapt over their heads, "Leave it all to me." In no time, he had passed them, "Don't block my way." He found Zhao Yuliang. Zhao Yuliang was screaming, trying to attract the zombies to help him escape. The zombies immediately gathered in front of Tianchen. Tianchen slammed his fist into the ground, before sweeping the zombies away. "I've evolved to the point where I can control the infected, it seems I can't let you off now." The zombies advanced again. Zhao Yuliang used all his strength to flee. He surely knew that if he fell into Tianchen's hands, there would be no way out. More and more zombies charged forward. Teacher Luo frowned, "Tianchen, the zombie horde is surging in, we need to retreat immediately." He replied, "No, this thing must die. Gao Fei, target that one for me." Meanwhile, Tianchen created a whirlwind that swept the zombies away. Zhao Yuliang veered to the left, "Veer left, he's running that way, right side, ahead, keep running straight." The whirlwind created by Tianchen swept through the zombies wherever it went, even as Zhao Yuliang ran among them. Gao Fei reminded, "He's right ahead." Eventually, Tianchen grabbed Zhao Yuliang's hair. He slammed his head hard into the ground, then kicked up and delivered a thunderous punch straight to his face. Zhao Yuliang screamed in pain, but he didn't forget to summon viruses to attack Tianchen in an attempt to rescue himself. The virus-controlled creatures attacked Tianchen again. He turned his head to look, momentarily distracted, and had no choice but to eliminate the zombies first. At this moment, Zhao Yuliang was gasping for breath, seemingly exhausted, and the power around him had weakened compared to before. Tianchen shouted, "Gao Fei, don't let him escape." Gao Fei's sharpshooting skills came into play as he shot Zhao Yuliang's knee joint from behind, causing him to lose balance and fall. Tianchen then commanded, "Gao Fei, keep shooting at all his vulnerable spots from behind." Gao Fei proudly remarked, "Kid, do you now realize how powerful I am?" At this point, Zhao Yuliang was crawling on the ground, his whole body trembling. Surprisingly, he was still alive. Gao Fei was stunned, "Damn it, how stubborn." Tianchen gave the order, "Teacher Luo, use the black armor." Teacher Luo complied, saying, Then, using his black arm, he enveloped his whole body in a black membrane, even covering his face. Teacher Luo's eyes now exuded a murderous aura. The zombies, seeing this, were frightened and dared not approach. They all retreated, clearing a path for Tianchen and Teacher Luo to stand. At this moment, only Zhao Yuliang remained on the ground. As expected, when the black armor was fully activated, even virus-infected beings had to fear it. Teacher Luo reminded, "Hurry up, I can't hold on much longer." Tianchen said, just one more minute, I'll make this little brat unable to get up.
He clenched his fist tightly, and gradually, the red marks on his arm disappeared, the hand returned to normal. However, after a while, a strange symbol appeared on the back of his hand. This symbol slowly spread across his arm. He began to exert his strength, and Zhao Liang sensed the danger. He tried his best to unleash his power again, and the electric sparks grew stronger and stronger. Zhao Liang stood up completely, screaming as he used his power. Gao Fei repeatedly shot at him, but he too had no choice but to say, Tianchen, I don't know what that guy is using, my bullets are useless.
In the blink of an eye, Zhao Liang was no longer on the ground. Teacher Luo and Gao Fei shouted loudly, Tianchen.
He had rushed right in front of him, and Tianchen used the full force of his fist to attack him, but he only used one hand to lightly block it. Zhao Liang paused for a moment, and Tianchen furrowed his brows, saying, since the new birthmark was formed, this is the first time I've used it. At this point, his arms were full of power. His arms were once again encased in a red armor. Today, I'll give you your first experience. Then, he punched Zhao Liang under the chin, knocking him out completely due to the shock. Zhao Liang was sent flying far away, just waiting for the moment, and while he was floating in mid-air, Tianchen used another punch to finish him off completely. The sky cleared up again. Gao Fei and teacher Luo watched in silence. Tianchen also silently stared at Zhao Liang, who was bleeding on the ground. He was completely motionless, surrounded by dust and debris, with buildings in ruins.
Gao Fei and teacher Luo approached Zhao Liang to observe him.
He used a knife to stab deep into his body, then pulled it out, watching fresh blood flow down.
The mutation process was too short, it hadn't condensed yet.
Tianchen ordered, jump into the middle of the zombie crowd. Collect the black teaching materials, we're going back. Luo Brat's eyes widened, she was excited, brother Tianchen, we've succeeded, let's go support him. Lin Wei remained cautious, don't act recklessly. Right now, it's good enough that we can take care of ourselves. At this point, they were still being attacked by zombies, who kept coming in droves like ants.
Luo Brat angrily said, what about brother Tianchen then?
Tianchen reminded her, Luo Brat, listen to Lin Wei, don't get agitated. We can handle it ourselves.
If we're not back in 5 minutes, blow up the remaining building.
Luo Brat anxiously said, how can that be? You'll die. But Tianchen was incredibly confident, don't worry, I have a big fate. Luo Brat protested, no, absolutely not.
Tianchen interrupted, it's decided then.
Lin Wei, I'll leave Luo Brat to you.
Lin Wei nodded, okay.
We'll prepare to detonate in 5 minutes. Luo Brat angrily cursed, damn it, before Tianchen comes back, no one is allowed to detonate. Then she threw something to the ground.
Lin Wei reassured her, don't get agitated, we're short on time, we can't delay everyone's escape just for him.
Besides, Zhuo Tianchen already agreed. Luo Brat still objected, I don't care, anyone who dares to detonate, I'll kill them. Her eyes were filled with murderous intent.
Zhang Jinyu spoke up, hey, why is the atmosphere so tense?
Both Luo Brat and Lin Wei widened their eyes in surprise.
Zhang Jinyu and his teammates stepped forward, brothers, let's go pick up Tianchen.
The zombies charged, but each one was dealt with by a single shot.
Lin Wei ordered, this is a good opportunity, let's move.
Luo Brat, holding 2 knives in her hands, and Lin Wei, holding a gun, charged into the middle of the zombies, kill.
Finally, they saw him, Tianchen, Tianchen. Tianchen praised, well done, go ahead and hit it.
Lin Wei raised his hand high, release. As soon as he spoke, a loud explosion rang out, and the entire area was blown up. The zombies all perished at once, the earth and rocks shattered, and the tall fortress was split in 2, crumbling to the ground. The only structure left standing was the clubhouse, still intact and unmoved in the middle.
Tianchen ordered, everyone, get into the club.
Gao Fei, is everything all right on your end?
Gao Fei replied, all good. I just relocated the infected people beneath this building, there aren't too many. I'm preparing to withdraw now. Tian Shan reminded him, "Alright, be careful." Gao Fei responded, "Got it, I'll adapt to the situation." Gao Fei approached the rooftop door, this feeling. Suddenly, the door was blasted open by an overwhelming force. Gao Fei stumbled back in shock. His mouth fell open. A monster with sharp, four-clawed feet stepped through. Gao Fei was terrified. The lone creature looked horrific, with bloodshot eyes, large teeth, and its body made entirely of bone. It didn't say a word, charging straight at Gao Fei to attack. Gao Fei jumped backward, aiming his gun at its back and firing a shot. But the shot had no effect on the monster. It remained standing there, completely unharmed. Gao Fei stepped back to avoid the attack from the monster. The monster stood there, its head, which had just been hit by a bullet, turned towards Gao Fei. Gao Fei remembered that Tian Shan had once said, "Gao Fei, the weakness of this thing is its temple." Upon realizing this, Gao Fei was overjoyed and shouted loudly to attract the monster's attention, "Hey, over here, you dog!" Of course, the monster couldn't ignore this. It turned around, swung its hand, and leapt into the air, then gently lowered its arm, aiming the gun at the monster's temple. Gao Fei laughed and said, "Goodbye," before firing a shot. The monster immediately collapsed. Gao Fei finally landed safely, and the monster was defeated. However, Gao Fei suddenly noticed something unusual. He quickly ran to the edge of the balcony and looked down. Damn it, the zombies are gathering here. The zombies were slowly forming a pile, climbing up the building. Gao Fei had no choice but to inform Tian Shan that he couldn't withdraw in time. On the other side, he only heard the sound of beeping, with no response from Tian Shan. He thought that Tian Shan must have already moved out of range. He thought, well, that's good, at least they are retreating safely. You held the cigarette you had just lit, and finally, you understood why Tian Shan liked smoking. Just when you looked like you had given up, you heard Tian Shan's voice. He told you to jump down, and you startled, yelling in surprise. Tian Shan chose to step on the zombies to leap up to Gao Fei. Gao Fei was very surprised to see him. You called his name loudly. Tian Shan shouted, "This is the moment you have to jump down." Gao Fei took a big leap out of the building, and Tian Shan used that opportunity to jump high to catch his friend. Tian Shan picked up Gao Fei, holding him in a princess carry. Gao Fei gaped. He didn't know how Tian Shan had stepped on the zombie's head to gain momentum and jump up like that. He said, "You need to control your strength perfectly to do this. I won't be able to maintain this state for long." Tian Shan explained that this was an extremely refined state. Once Gao Fei reached the second level, after condensing the new birthmark, he would gradually unlock this ability. After entering the super refined state, he would consume a large amount of mental energy. However, since he was an evolved with mental powers, he would be stronger than Tian Shan in that regard. Whenever there's a chance, Tian Shan would teach him. Gao Fei understood after hearing him speak. Tian Shan reminded him, "Hold me tightly." Tian Shan crushed the road beneath him, broke the window of a house, and entered inside. After landing safely, he told Gao Fei, "Get down, we'll go around this building to head back." Tian Shan was sitting, concentrating and meditating to restore his abilities, while his teammates stood beside him, observing. In a moment, he had recovered. Gao Fei thought he was quite abnormal, having recovered in less than an hour. He had been fighting nearly the whole afternoon, using countless special abilities, even triggering the mole on his body. All it took was a short rest like this to recover. He raised his hand so everyone could clearly see the new mole. This was the benefit of condensing a new mole. After condensing the new mole, one's control abilities, mental strength, endurance, and recovery speed would greatly increase. Although it didn't directly enhance his power and speed, it greatly stimulated his potential. He also reached into his pocket and threw 2 meteorite crystals to Gao Fei and Luo Lan. He said, "Those two have just gone through an intense battle, it's the right time to use these." Gao Fei asked, "How do you use this thing?" Tian Shan replied, "It's a method of blood harmonization, similar to meteorite crystal." Gao Fei was terrified and lost his composure upon hearing that. Luo Lan even teased him, saying,
to practice this martial art, you must practice self-cultivation.
Tianchen finally told the two of them to take their time practicing.
He said, Zhang Jinyu, come up to the rooftop with me for a moment.
Tianchen went to check the situation here, and it seemed that the people inside were also busy. He asked Zhang Jinyu, how is the situation here? It's getting crowded now. He replied, everyone is gathered in the club. Almost half of the people from the mining area are here. But earlier, I discovered that the Zhao family warehouse still has plenty of supplies, enough for us to hold out for a while. Tianchen also reminded him, right now, the club is full of all kinds of people, and the management is relatively complicated, so don't go easy on them. Once they reached the rooftop, Zhang Jinyu asked, why do you want to go up to the rooftop? Tianchen wanted to observe the zombie horde. He stood on the rooftop and looked down at the densely packed zombies below.
Zhang Jinyu said, not long after you left, the situation in the city turned into this.
These zombies seem like they're sleeping, they don't seem aggressive at all. Tianchen then realized that this wave of zombies was not simple.
He remained silent, thinking, normally, there are 3 reasons for the formation of zombie hordes.
The first reason is natural formation.
These zombies tend to have a high evolutionary level and are usually found in large cities, where there is a relatively high concentration of virus infections.
The second reason is artificial formation, typically caused by excessive human activity. Simply put, loud noises alone can create enough zombies to trigger a horde.
The third reason is the command of high-level virus-infected individuals. After evolving to level 3, the number of zombies that a virus-infected person can control increases day by day.
The exceptional ones can even control the horde.
Zhang Jinyu asked him, so, what is the cause of the zombie horde in Longhua this time?
Tianchen pointed downward and told him to look.
He said, normally, when a virus-infected person detects prey, they will pursue it relentlessly, unless they kill them all. But now, these zombies have stopped attacking and are resting. What's more, the zombies over there have started to exhibit aimless wandering.
A normal zombie horde wouldn't show this behavior.
This wave of zombies is of the third type, led by a high-level virus-infected person. Tianchen himself did not yet have enough information to make a definitive statement, he could only make assumptions.
He said, Zhang Jinyu, go rest for now, this matter can't be cleared up in a day.
The next day, he and Zhang Jinyu went to meet with the members of the gang. He stood behind, smoking, while Zhang Jinyu rallied the Blue Mountain Gang brothers. He spoke to those in the room, they are just ordinary people, and they will be scratched and bitten by those infected with the virus. So remember, your mission is to stop them, build a defense line, not to kill.
Then, he ordered, open the door. The zombies immediately swarmed in and attacked wildly.
The team members advanced with shields to block their path. Before long, someone used a hammer to kill a zombie. They shouted, push forward, do your best to block the zombies. Tianchen did not expect the Zhao family's warehouse to have these things, it's definitely lucky to have bulletproof shields and weapons, dealing with the zombies is so much easier. A zombie jumped over the shield line, and Tianchen quickly kicked it down. He ordered, keep pushing forward.
Everyone immediately followed the order.
The remaining members were also ready, and the nearby zombies had all gathered at the front.
He assigned, Gao Fei and Luo Lan will keep watch over the east. Teacher Luo and Linwei will take care of the west.
The number of zombies grew larger and larger, with some breaking through the shields. Zhang Jinyu was blocking them while reporting to him, they might not be able to hold out much longer.
Tianchen leapt into the air, the mole on his hand spreading across both arms. He even managed to knock away all the zombies surrounding him.
His teammates could only see his back, you guys just need to watch the door carefully, leave these guys to me.
Everyone was surprised and praised his strength.
They felt that he alone could handle the zombie horde. Zhang Jinyu was also amazed, recalling the meeting from the day before. He had shared the battle plan with everyone. Zhang Jinyu was to lead the Blue Mountain Gang, and he would attract the attention of the infected.
Gao Fei and Luo Lan would lead the Axe Gang and the Milling Group to seize the buildings in the southeast and establish a defensive line.
Teacher Luo and Lin Wei would lead the others towards the southwest, capturing the remaining buildings to set up their defenses, just like them. Zhang Jinyu then realized that from the very beginning, he had intended to use those two buildings as strongholds. These two buildings, along with the clubhouse, will form a triangular formation, which will not only relieve the crowding in the club but also create a small triangular safe zone. The other two sides of the four people had also completed the tasks assigned by Tian Shen. Tian Shen was fighting the zombies while praising them for doing a great job. Now he just needed to clean up the zombies here. When the plan succeeded, everyone started discussing, we didn't expect to still be alive. We've fought zombies so many times, but this is the first time we've done it without losing anyone.
We have to admit that Tian Shen is very strong.
He single-handedly wiped out the Zhao family, even scared Hu Feng into running away. He's really capable. I wish I could be as strong as him. Zhuo Tianchen emotionlessly surveyed the surroundings. The supplies left behind by the Zhao family should be enough for a month. During this time, they need to deal with the zombies outside. Gao Fei had already scouted around. Right now, zombies are everywhere. Without supplies, it will be difficult for us to leave Longhua. Zhang Jinyu also understood that, so he clarified that identifying the source of the zombies was key to solving the problem. This place is still unstable. If you leave, I'm afraid it will cause panic and lead to people scattering. Tian Shen also said, don't worry, I won't act rashly until I'm 100% sure. Gao Fei wished he had the ability to see far and wide, so he could spot everything that was going on. Zhang Jinyu suggested leading a few people into the city center to see what was happening.
Tian Shen replied, you're not strong enough yet.
To get through these zombies, you need to have at least second-tier strength.
Luo Lan appeared and said, let me try it.
Tian Shen, surprised, turned back. He realized that her speed was very fast. Just now, he hadn't noticed her. Luo Lan is already a second-tier expert.
Gao Fei added, it's nothing impressive, everyone is the same.
This showed that he had also made a breakthrough, but Tian Shen hadn't noticed it. Gao Fei continued, it's because you are a spiritual system, you used to hide it, and now it's been discovered. Tian Shen quickly teased him, it seems that the 2 meteorite crystals I gave them weren't useless after all. He told them, after reaching the second tier, both of you will begin to unlock special abilities.
Take your time to experience them, but to master them, it may take a little time. He asked Luo Lan, you said you wanted to go to the city center, right? Luo Lan presented a large suitcase, and she said, it's not me, it's it. He didn't know what trick she was about to play.
The suitcase opened slightly, and Shang Biao peeked out. The girl said, Shang Biao found this at the building we were guarding, and inside was actually a drone. Gao Fei was delighted, this is good stuff, we can use it to scout the situation, but if this is the only thing we have, it might not be enough.
The drone doesn't have a camera, so if it flies into the city center, it won't gather any useful information. Tian Shen let Shang Biao go.
As soon as Shang Biao was released, it ran quickly and crawled into Gao Fei's pants, going straight to a sensitive spot, making him feel embarrassed. He reminded him, don't joke around, let's get back to the main topic.
Luo Lan asked, is Gao Fei wearing those blue floral boxer shorts today? How playful. Gao Fei didn't understand how she knew.
Zhang Jinyu and Tian Shen were also confused, while the mouse continued to crawl inside Gao Fei's pants. Suddenly, Luo Lan screamed, don't go in there, I don't want to see that. Suddenly, the spot where the mouse crawled into started to shine brightly, and Gao Fei froze. Luo Lan punched him hard in the face and pointed at him, accusing, why does the birthmark have to be there?
That's just disgusting. Gao Fei wondered, how did you know?
Then, Gao Fei realized and pulled Shang Biao out, guessing that it was because of him.
Tian Shan also understood that Luo Lan and Shang Biao shared a similar perspective.
She said, as soon as Shang Biao got back, he rolled over and went to sleep, only waking up yesterday, so I only discovered this ability today. He felt that it was worth feeding him some meteorite crystals. Now, this is where unmanned aerial vehicles can come into play. Shang Biao sat on the drone, aggressively moving as if it was about to dive into the group of zombies below. Luo Lan reminded him, stay still. He calmed down. She said,
Gao Fei, turn the plane to the left and go a bit higher. The autopilot was nearing its maximum altitude. Tian Shen asked, are you able to determine the direction of the zombies yet? Luo Lan felt something was off. Although it seems like the zombies are wandering aimlessly, they appear to be heading in a specific direction. It's very unusual. Tian Shen realized that his guess was indeed on the right track. Suddenly, Shang Biao became enraged again, and Luo Lan shouted, thankfully, the plane is still under control. She said, I'm fine, but there's something very strange. Gao Fei, get closer. She reminded, Gao Fei, turn left at the upcoming intersection. Sounds came from that direction. The plane gradually regained altitude. Luo Lan clearly saw a gigantic zombie rampaging wildly. The normal zombies were crawling beneath it, gradually climbing onto the massive zombie's body. Luo Lan was horrified by what she saw. It was her first time encountering such a terrifying monster. The girl's voice trembled as she spoke about the monster. The monster was so huge, it's hard to even imagine. It had to be as tall as a 4-story building. Tian Shen was also shocked after hearing this. A mutated creature that is 4 stories high must be at least level 3 peak, maybe even level 4 or level 5. What's most bizarre is that a group of normal zombies was surrounding it and attacking. Gao Fei asked him, what's going on here? Do zombies know how to gang up on others? He replied, we'll talk about it later. You should fly the plane back and tell Luo Lan to rest for a bit. He told Zhang Jingyu, teacher Luo is coming to see me. He asked them, before the apocalypse struck in Longhua City, was there anything different? Any strange or unusual occurrences that happened that day? Tell me everything, especially what happened in the city center. Zhang Jingyu thought carefully again. There was only the meteorite falling, but it seems like a meteorite hit the city center. There was a meteor shower that day, and one of the meteors fell right in the city center. I even saw it with my own eyes. After it fell, it exploded loudly, and then the apocalypse happened right after. As expected, Tian Shen's guess was correct. He asked, where exactly did the meteorite fall? But Zhang Jingyu replied, I don't know, because the explosion area was too large at that time. Moreover, the zombies were rampant, and no one knew where the meteorite fell. Previously, the young master of the Zhao family also sent people to investigate, but none of them survived. This matter just passed by. Tian Shen thought, it seems that the meteorite crystal fragments are the key to this outbreak. Perhaps I should leave here. He said, I will take Luo Brat and Gao Fei with me. From now on, the 3 of you will be in charge here until I return. Just tell others that I'm in seclusion for cultivation. This time, I must personally go to the city center. Tian Shen, Gao Fei, and Luo Brat were on the rooftop of the building. They planned to cross over the zombie horde below by using a rope suspended in the air. The two asked Tian Shen, why not look for that giant zombie? Isn't this flood controlled by it? Tian Shen replied, no, what they need to find this time is the leader. In some special cases, those infected with the virus develop exceptional leadership abilities. The form and abilities of these leaders are strange and diverse. He continued, among them, some leaders even possess the ability to control the zombie horde. That gigantic mutated form might also be a type of leader, but it has evolved more toward strength rather than the ability to control the zombie swarm, and it has no rationality at all. The giant leader that Luo Lan saw was still being attacked by other infected people. It must belong to another leader's army. Although those insignificant zombies can't do anything to it, if a meteorite crystal fragment falls in the city center, and a high-level infected absorbs it, they will evolve into a leader. Therefore, this time they went outside to find that leader. The range that the drones could monitor was limited, so they had to go there in person. The number of infected people in the city center was too large. This was originally the area with the highest population density, and with the zombie horde pouring in, it was naturally crowded. Tian Shen's group didn't detect anything unusual and started to continue their search. Gao Fei saw something and asked Tian Shen to take a look, an empty road. The entire city center is filled with the zombie swarm, yet this road is the only one without any infected person. It's like landing on a jackpot, but how could there be such a safe, spacious area in the middle of the city center? Tianchen used binoculars to observe that direction, and he saw someone over there. The man with green hair in the group asked a bald, scarred man, "Has his older brother already gone there?" The bald man replied, "Of course, that place has abundant supplies and is easy to defend, hard to attack. Once we get there, we will safely survive the zombie outbreak." He sighed and said, "I know everyone is feeling discouraged. The zombie horde has taken many of our teammates, and now we are living day by day, worried about the next meal. But we are also fortunate to have found a place to survive." He reassured everyone, "My old friends are resting there, waiting for us to reunite." He told the young people to trust him. "As long as I still have a breath left, I will protect everyone until we reach a safe place. Don't lose hope, lift your spirits, and let's go home together." After hearing his words, the young people felt their spirits lift. The bald man smiled and said, "Everyone stay close, don't fall behind." Suddenly, a can of water rolled out from the alley. The bald man brandished a knife, threatening whoever was hiding in the alley. It was Gao Fei and Luo Lan. The group was surprised to see humans there and asked, "Who are you?" Luo Lan and the others were just like those people, lucky to have survived. The bald man threatened, "I know there are more than just the two of you." At this moment, Tianchen stepped forward and said, "I just happened to be passing by and overheard your conversation." The bald man responded, "I'm quite interested in the place you're talking about. 2 minutes ago, when they were still hiding behind the wall, eavesdropping on the conversation of the bald group, based on what he had said, it seemed there was a place nearby where survivors were gathering. But clearly, these people didn't have the capability for that, unless they had at least 10-second level evolved individuals. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to establish a safe zone in the city center. However, the road had indeed been cleared, so this indicated something was off with these people. Luo Lan suggested they follow and keep an eye on them, hoping to uncover something. Tianchen found the situation troublesome and thought it would be better to join them. He kicked a soda can away and instructed the other two not to reveal their true abilities to avoid trouble. It was time to test their acting skills, which was the reason they were currently asking to follow this group. The bald men were scrutinizing the three of them and asked where they were from. Gao Fei replied that they came from the mining area. The group immediately buzzed, "I can't believe they are from the mining district, they're really impressive. Looking at the equipment they have, it seems top-notch. I wonder what their background is." The man with the green hair turned to the bald-headed guy and said, "Brother Lei, don't let the three of them follow. They seem suspicious." Other young people in the group also said, "These three don't have a clear background, it's better not to take them along. Their supplies are limited, and adding 3 more people might make things harder, especially if something happens along the way." But Brother Lee didn't listen. He said, "They are all human beings, and helping each other is what we should do. Right now, during this disaster, we should unite all the strength we can." He raised his hand to welcome the newcomers. Tianchen also shook his hand to thank him, and then everyone followed him. The rest of the group still seemed puzzled about why Brother Lee allowed the three of them to join, and they remained cautious around them. When they reached a road, Brother Lee told everyone to slow down. He sensed that something was wrong. Then, a group of zombies appeared, and Brother Lee shouted loudly, "Prepare for battle." The people in the group seemed unable to help, fear overwhelming them. Brother Lee told them, "Hold on for a bit, he will come to rescue us." The 3 people from Tianchen still stood there, doing nothing to help. Gao Fei was confused, but Tianchen was still observing. He said, "These people, some have no experience or courage to deal with zombies, they shouldn't have been able to last this long. The girl is flailing her weapon around, it'll be a long time before she can take down an infected person. The most important one is the bald guy, Brother Lee. His speed and strength are both quite good, his fighting ability isn't bad either, he must have reached the 2nd level. A 2nd level expert with no reputation in Manhwa. Recently, people here, like Luo Lan, haven't even heard of Brother Lee." He thought to himself, "Reaching the 2nd level in such a short time can be considered a genius in my past life. I should have heard of him by now."
I'm sure these people have something suspicious about them. Just then, a zombie lunged at him from behind. Gao Fei was about to raise his fist, ready to punch the zombie in the face, when Tianchen suddenly stopped him. The young people were angry seeing that the three new people just stood there. Even when the zombie was almost upon Tianchen, he remained motionless, doing nothing.
But the zombie was still sent flying far away.
Brother Li was the one who saved him.
Brother Li even kindly asked if they were all right.
Luolan and Gao Fei were stunned. It was only after Tianchen reminded them that they said it was fine, but their performance of fear couldn't have been more awkward.
They thanked Brother Li. They said, "Thank you very much." Brother Li politely responded, "It's the least I could do."
The group of young people continued to talk amongst themselves. We didn't kill any zombies just now. Yet they're saying they're from the mining district. They thought the three of them were lying. Or that they had gotten lucky. With such weak abilities, how could they survive in the city center? The person with green hair remained silent, lost in thought.
The person next to him asked, "Why is he looking at us like that?" He replied, "Luolan and Gao Fei are clearly trying to please Brother Li. They see someone successful and want to latch onto them.
They're just kids, already knowing how to flatter.
It's shameless." As for Tianchen, he didn't say anything. Earlier, he was so scared he couldn't move. If Brother Li hadn't saved him, he'd be dead by now.
The person next to him said, and yet he only said a thank you. Who knows what Brother Li thinks, bringing along these three useless ones? The person beside him said, let's just think of Brother Li as a kind person, and assume they're accumulating good karma. The green-haired guy still insisted that he would never help those three.
Luolan asked Tianchen, "What should we do next? Should we keep following them like this?" In a dimly lit bunker, the green-haired man asked Brother Li, "Where is this place?" He replied, "This is a shelter built during the war, now preserved as a historical site.
There's even a park outside for tourism. Below, there are warehouses with abundant supplies, and the bunker's equipment has been maintained until now. So, there's no need to worry about safety." Although some still found the place eerie and feared going down there, they trusted Brother Li because of his reputation.
The green-haired man even scolded them, saying, "Why would Brother Li go through all the trouble of bringing us here just to deceive us? If the two of you don't want to go down, just stay up here and guard the door." The two of them were about to change their minds when Tianchen suddenly spoke up. He said, "The green-haired guy has a point. You two can stay here and watch over things. If anything happens, you'll be able to handle it." He even asked Brother Li for confirmation, to which Brother Li agreed and smiled dangerously. He told the two to stay on guard and report anything unusual. After that, the group went down below. The green-haired man then asked Brother Li again, "Are they really down there? It's so dark here." He explained, "It's because the power capacity of the generator is limited, so normally they don't turn on the lights. They just need to follow me closely." Gao Fei sensed that this place was very strange and spoke to Tianchen. Of course, Tianchen had sensed it too. Brother Li suddenly said, "They don't know. 2 weeks ago, he was still a lucky guy who had just evolved. His two close brothers also evolved. They set up a small base in the city center. The city center was different from other places, it was 100 times more dangerous here. Therefore, in order to develop their base, HG had to fight and explore every day. It wasn't until they found this shelter that everything changed. Here, they met many like-minded friends. They grew stronger. Although many of their teammates had sacrificed, they felt it was worth it. After all, sacrificing for faith was something very happy. He knew they didn't understand what he was saying, but he told everyone that as long as they saw the Lord, they would understand. He turned around with the face of a villain and said, "Faith in people is sacred." Gao Fei had a look of contempt. He didn't understand what this guy was saying. Luolan also said he was crazy. Tianchen remained focused. He asked the two of them, "Do you smell anything?" It was the scent of blood, which he had noticed earlier.
This place had the strongest stench, and it was also the place where Brotherly wanted them to come. When he pressed the switch to turn on the lights, the blinding light immediately shone, forcing everyone to cover their faces. Tian Shen, willing to open his eyes and get accustomed to the light, was also the moment he saw a monster in front of him, a huge monster with tentacles resembling those of a squid. Brotherly even introduced the monster to them, saying, "The existence before them is a god." He praised and revered it as his god. He bowed his head and worshipped the monster, claiming to have brought offerings to it. The young people were all astonished upon hearing this. Brotherly said, his teammates sacrificed their lives gloriously. They offered part of their crystals as a tribute to become a part of the god. They, too, will be embraced by the god. The green-haired guy turned pale with fear, now realizing that he had been deceived. It turned out that all of his friends had been turned into this. He then said, they should feel honored. Not everyone has the chance to become a part of a god. This is an unmatched glory in the world. Now, the god is about to complete its deep slumber. As soon as it awakens, they will have completed the ceremony. He said, "Let my friends offer their blood and flesh to become sacrifices for the gods." Is he joking? Who would want to become a sacrifice? They didn't want to, and they told him to snap out of it. Then, the two guards standing outside the door rushed in, saying it wasn't good. There were many zombies approaching from the outside, and they had to run quickly. They hurriedly reminded everyone to flee. They still didn't know the true nature of Brotherly, so they ran to urge him to go quickly. But the very person who tried to warn him was impaled and killed by him. Even as he died, he couldn't comprehend it, his face frozen in shock. He said, "Do you think the first sacrifice of today feels honored?" He threw the body into the air, and the tentacle of the monster grabbed him and opened its mouth to devour him. The monster chewed him loudly, causing the others to feel a terrifying sense of dread. They watched as his blood splattered and his body was slowly consumed. Brotherly grinned maliciously, saying, "The gods are pleased today, they will all become its sacrifices." It was only then that Tian Shen spoke up. He calmly lit a cigarette. "I found it without breaking a sweat." His little tricks? I saw through them long ago. He still didn't understand what he was saying. Tian Shen said, they intentionally directed the zombies away from this area, laying out a flat path. To make it more realistic, he even set up 2 more attacks. It's truly exhausting. It took a lot of time to deceive everyone into coming here, all for this leader, which needs to eat human flesh to evolve. At that moment, everyone finally understood. He continued, "Unfortunately, everything he did was within my perception. This is nothing but a farce." Brotherly, enraged, cursed at him, "Even if you know, you can't do anything. In the presence of a god, you're just an ant." He laughed loudly, "I'm certain that everyone here will become a sacrifice to the god." Tian Shen silently looked at him, flicked the unfinished cigarette from his hand, and drove it straight into his skull. Brotherly immediately fell silent, dying without making a sound. His body slumped down. He should have known that there is no god in this world, and if there were, it would be me. His face looked terrifying at this moment. While the young men were still confused about what had just happened, Gao Fei and Luo Lan were still feeling smug when something unexpected occurred. One of the monster's tentacles slammed down onto the ground, forcing Tian Shen to retreat. The tentacles wrapped around the bald man's head, emitting a very strange energy. Tian Shen felt uneasy. The bald man suddenly opened his eyes and screamed. The bald man had been zombified, he still had a living body, and his strength seemed to have increased to a higher level. Tian Shen instructed Gao Fei to lead them to deal with the zombies outside. Since Gao Fei and Luo Lan were already out there, he felt confident that it wouldn't be a problem anymore. He looked at the bald man who had turned into a zombie. Not only had he become zombified, but his physical abilities had also strengthened significantly. It seemed that he had reached the intermediate 2nd tier level. Tian Shen charged toward him quickly and severed one of his arms. Then, he landed successive punches on him, hitting him directly without giving him a chance to retaliate. After the attack, Tianchen realized that during his recovery, the bald man was also enhancing the damaged parts of his body, causing them to continue mutating. If things kept going like this, the bald man's strength would continue to grow. He had to finish him off quickly. Meanwhile, the young people on the other side were also in danger from the zombies, with one girl even getting bitten by a zombie. Seeing this, the green-haired man remarked, "If I had known this would happen, I wouldn't have trusted the bald man. He's definitely dead this time." Luo Lan was the one who saved him when she kicked the zombie down. Gao Fei teased them, "Are you delivering free food or something?" The guy with the blue hair hesitated, not daring to retort. Gao Fei tossed him aside, criticizing him for being too cumbersome. He was very annoyed that he had to kill these zombies every day, and on top of that, he had to command these freeloaders. Why was it always him who had to deal with this tedious and thankless work? Luo Lan asked him, "Do you want to go fight that monster?" Gao Fei replied, "No need, I still prefer dealing with these guys rather than killing that monster." It was only then that the young people realized how powerful these two were. Luo Lan said, "Everyone gather around me and follow me, there might still be a chance to survive." Meanwhile, Tianchen was still fighting, punching the bald guy in the face. He used his immense strength to smash the floor, forcing Tianchen to fall back. It seemed that as long as he was still mutated, this guy wouldn't die easily. If he continued to evolve like this, it would be tough to deal with. At that, he pulled the sword from his shoulder and threw it towards him. The guy dodged the sword, grinning smugly, but Tianchen reminded him, "You might want to turn around and take a look." The sword pierced the monster behind him. From the start, Tianchen's target had been his master. He screamed in a terrifying manner. Taking advantage of this moment, he leapt toward him. Wasn't he extremely loyal? He should try to block this punch from him. The zombie was enveloped by a powerful beam of light, his body seemed to be disintegrating. Suddenly, his pupils widened, his body was drained, leaving only a skeletal frame. His master, on the other hand, swelled up with suspiciously large bubbles. The two individuals on the other side said to him, "The zombies on their side have slowed down, did you succeed?" He reminded them, "Hold the line, fall back." This monster blossomed, its eyes glaring like an angry demon. It extended its tentacles to seize the body of the bald zombie that had just attacked Tianchen. Tianchen, sensing trouble, quickly ran to another spot. The tentacles kept attacking from behind, but Tianchen jumped up and delivered a whirlwind punch, severing all of them. The whirlwind he created had tremendous power, blasting the monster away, but it quickly recovered. With such a fast recovery speed, it seemed that the monster's level of evolution was already very high. But then, he thought to himself, if it can control the zombie horde, its fighting power can't be this weak. Gao Fei still asked him, "How's the situation?" He replied, "We're still okay here, but over at Gao Fei's place, the zombies are much more frantic than before." But he's still holding on. He told Gao Fei, "Something's not right. This mutation is at the leader level, and it likely has other special abilities. You must never underestimate it." Gao Fei said, "I understand. I'm still fighting well." But suddenly, something unexpected caught his eye, and Gao Fei stopped. In front of him was his mother. Gao Fei was shocked. "How could you be here, Mom?" He no longer paid attention to what LM Tianchen was saying. Tianchen heard his voice calling, "Mom." His mother stroked his face, said she missed him, and asked, "Where have you been lately?" Gao Fei was still in disbelief, and unexpectedly, he was overcome with emotion and almost cried. He still felt very guilty for not being able to return in time to save his mother. His mother didn't blame him and even praised him as a child full of righteous spirit. She trusted him, but immediately after that, the beautiful face of his mother was replaced by the grotesque face of a zombie. Gao Fei screamed, and Tianchen hurriedly called out to him, "It's the monster in front of you playing tricks." Tianchen switched to contacting Luolan, but the situation on her side was just as bad. She was reunited with her father, who said he was still searching for her. Luolan was overjoyed to the point of tears, jumping into his arms for a tight embrace. Although he had told her to snap out of the illusion, it was already too late. He knew that Luobrat had been hit by the same trick, and he could no longer afford to hesitate. When dealing with this monster, his physical strength was of limited use.
Tianchen cut the tentacles that were approaching the monster's huge eye.
The tentacles couldn't stop him, and Tianchen drove his sword deep into the creature's body.
Suddenly, a beam of light appeared, and a voice asked him, "Why?"
Tianchen widened his eyes, and he saw the image of Xian.
Xian was gravely injured.
She clutched her abdomen where Tianchen's sword had pierced, leaving a serious wound. She blamed him, saying he had promised to protect her.
She hated him.
It was his own hand that had stabbed her. Xian blamed everything on him. He had turned her into this, with half of her face disfigured, turned into a zombie. He could still only hear her accusations, and behind her back, her hand suddenly transformed, preparing to strike at him. When it was about to strike and kill him, Tianchen was faster, slicing her in half.
The monster didn't understand why he was still able to act. Tianchen said, "I am an evolved all-purpose system. Although mental abilities are not my specialty, they are enough to see through its farce."
Xian's body then reverted to its true form, the tentacle of the monster.
Tianchen was truly furious.
It was not strong enough to defeat him and yet dared to humiliate Xian. He had to finish it.
Tianchen then swung once, cutting the monster in half.
Gao Fei and Luolan were freed, and all the zombies were destroyed. A stone appeared, which seemed to be a fragment of meteorite crystal, but it wasn't. This was a product of a 3-time mutation and condensation in the body after absorbing a fragment of meteorite crystal. Its energy was even purer than the meteorite crystal fragment. The energy of this meteorite crystal fragment was much more gentle than regular meteorite crystals. A second-level evolved being could absorb it, but the virus activity within it was very strong.
Improper use could result in uncontrollable mutations.
It had to be absorbed slowly over a long period. I'll just keep it for now, and when I have time, I'll slowly absorb it later.
Luolan suddenly snapped out of her daze.
She searched for Gao Fei, and he was by her side, but no matter how she shook him, he wouldn't wake up.
Tianchen approached and asked.
Luolan said, "Just now, suddenly everyone passed out, and now only Gao Fei hasn't woken up. No matter how much we call him, he won't wake up." Luolan was about to slap him twice, but Tianchen stopped him. "His condition is a bit strange. Let's head back to the clubhouse first and figure it out later." As Tianchen was about to leave, the ground trembled again. This was not an earthquake.
Tianchen spoke and reminded, "Get Gao Fei out of here immediately."
The walls and ceiling collapsed, but luckily, they had already managed to escape.
Tianchen sensed something. Everyone looked up in astonishment.
Yet, Luolan said, "There are only 4 floors, but there's still one more floor above us with a giant monster up there looking down at us. The monsters I seem to charge toward them along with the huge beast."
Tianchen reminded everyone, as the giant monster's arm slammed down heavily onto the floor. Someone fell after the monster's strike. "Run quickly." His teammate worried, "Is he okay?"
But before they could even run, they were crushed. The monster's hand was covered in blood, and it continued to destroy everything with even more frenzy. At this rate, the shelter would collapse, and they needed to run fast, or they would surely die.
Tianchen said to Luolan, "Take them and run ahead, I will hold it off."
When the giant zombie was about to stomp Tianchen flat, he managed to dodge, but the floor beneath him collapsed.
Quick-witted, Tianchen grabbed the zombie's toe and climbed up its body.
The zombie tried to grab him as he ran across its body, but Tianchen was agile and dodged every attempt. As he got closer to its face, Tianchen jumped and slashed a long cut from its forehead to its mouth. The zombie thrashed in pain. The young people, along with Luolan, stood safely on one side, watching his battle.
Luolan was anxious.
She silently wished he must return safely.